developed the MBBR, or the IPAS process. So the MLS's concentration in the reactor can be around 8 grams per liter, compared to the about 2 to 3 grams per liter of the aqueous sludge. And then the anaerobic granule has been developed, and also the UASB process. So the biomass concentration can be about 70 grams per liter. So we can maintain about 10 times loading rate. And recently, the aerobic granule has been developed. So within one granule, we can maintain aerobic, anoxic, and anaerobic conditions. So then we can reduce the energy consumption as well as the investment cost a lot. So we can think that, well, now our aqueous sludge system is quite mature for the carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen pollutant removals. But another problem occurs. The emerging pollutants are realizing nowadays. Well, this is a partial list of the emerging pollutants that can be found in the aqueous sludge process. They are pharmaceuticals, household and personal care products, pesticides, and so on. Nowadays, nearly about 700 chemicals were identified. They are quite low concentration, but it has significant impact on human health. Of course, the aqueous sludge can remove part of the emerging pollutants, and AOP, advanced oxidation process, can remove most of them. The problem is the cost is very expensive. And greenhouse gas control is another issue for the aqueous sludge management. And now about 2.8% of the global greenhouse gas production comes from the waste and wastewater treatment. So there are various sources. However, we can control them by minimization, treatment, but that's costly also. So might be the prevention might be much better than treatment. So using those technologies and concern, last 100 years, sanitation improved our human health quite a lot. And there is a quite interesting report that readers of the British Medical Journal voted that the sanitation was the most important medical milestone since 1840. It's not scientific, but it's quite interesting comments. Well, if we calculate the WHO report this kind of calculation, the global annual economic value of the universal sanitation would be about $140 billion per year. Well, you can figure out what that means, $140 billion per year. You know, the Korean national budget nowadays, we have about $400 billion every year. So about 1/3 our annual budget can be saved by the universal sanitation. But we have to pay for something. The cost for the domestic wastewater treatment, for the construction, we might need about $1,200 billion for universal sanitation. And also the operation and management cost will require about $36 billion every year. That's a lot of money. But also the WHO figured out the benefit cost ratios. So the number is about 5.5. That means we can earn about 5.5 worth times of the benefit. So when we're looking back the last 100 years, we can realize that the wastewater treatment usually responds to the social demands. So the early 1900, the control of epidemic was a social problem, and we developed a sewer system. And then urbanization and eutrophication became the problem, and we developed sewage treatment technology. Nowadays, what is the issue? The wastewater issue is related with water shortage problem. So we developed advanced treatment. Maybe in the future, the issue would be the sustainability in the future. So nowadays already we are talking about and we are practicing on the resource recovery. Well, then the sustainability can be obtained through the resource recovery at the wastewater treatment plant. Well, let's look at how we are doing right now. This is the potential product we can recover from the wastewater or used water. Professor Bostrade liked that word, used water, rather than wastewater. He reported that we can recover water, nitrogen, methane, and so on. That's worth of about 35 cents of the euro. If we convert that in US dollar, it's about 23 cents per cubic meter. And we can compare that value to the water and wastewater tariff in USA, about 20 to 50% of the value can be recovered through the resource recovery. That's quite reasonable and acceptable practice. Well, we are trying now many approaches to reuse and recover the resources. Non-potable reuse by MBR plus RO system is quite popular right now. So using this membrane filter, we can remove most of the suspended solids and we can produce reusable water. But the challenge would be the membrane fouling problem and O&M cost. Cost is still very high. My friend in Busan wastewater treatment plants complaining about the electricity cost. In Busan, we have 100,000 cubic meter per day treatment capacity of the MBR was installed about 7 years ago. It's pretty good. Operation is pretty good, but the problem is operation cost. And last couple of years, there are many researchers are working on the MBR, and the major issue, research issue, has been the fouling and anaerobic MBR. And also for the desalination, the energy and forward osmosis was the research topics, major research topics. Of course, we are trying to recover the water for potable reuse through the groundwater recharge. This is a well-known example that groundwater replacement system in Orange County, California, is solved for 50,000 people and world's largest advanced water purification system. It has been there already since 2008. It's working quite well, And the system looks like this. The effluent from the aqueous sludge is treated further using the membrane and advanced oxidation, and then the produced water recharged into the ground as groundwater, and some of them is used for the seawater barrier. And we can collect the drinking water source from the groundwater in this region. And nowadays we can remove the nitrogen using the animals bacteria that can convert directly ammonium to the nitrogen gas using the nitrite as an electron acceptor, and the partial nitrification and animals process has been developed, so we can reduce power and the O&M cost. The challenge might be the nitrite oxidizing bacteria control and the slow growth of animals. But recently there are some animals, bacteria were found. Their governing time is much faster than the conventional animals, bacteria. Well, usually the animal system has been applied for the side stream treatment, but nowadays many researchers try to use that on the mainstream treatment. So this is an example, the A-B stage process. The B stage can be converted to the animals, the partial nitrification and animals process. We can not only saving the energy, but also we can produce energy using the AB process, AD and CHP, the anaerobic digestion and combined heat and power process. In this example, the AB process, the first stage can be used as an accumulation of the organics using the biosorption, and then about 60% of organic can be recovered that can be used for the anaerobic digestion, and the produced methane can be used for the CHP for production of electricity. So AD anaerobic digester reject water is treated by the partial nitrification and animals. It is a well-known case. It was practiced in the Strasbourg, Austria, and already year of 2008, electricity production in that plant was more than they demand for the operation of the plant, but with a little bit external organic source. Also, we can recover the phosphorus as sludge. This process is well known, and already there are so many commercial processes are there. So the technology itself is quite stable and mature technology, but the problem is the cost price of the sludge-based fertilizer is much higher than the phosphorus rock-based fertilizer. Well, someday the price will be reversed and they can have a good business, I hope. Well, nowadays many researchers try to produce electricity even chemicals using the MET, microbial electrolysis technology. Around since 1990, already 20 years ago, we tried to develop the MFC, microbial fuel cell, to produce electricity from the wastewater directly. We are using this kind of system, anode and cathode, and we can collect the electron as an electricity. Even we can produce hydrogen, the hydrogen peroxide and denitrification. the electricity recovery was quite low, and the cost was quite high, and the system was quite complex. So nowadays, many researchers working on the MEC, microwave electrolysis cell, that is to add some electricity rather than producing, to produce chemicals from the wastewater directly. So using this system, they can produce acetate, hydrogen, or some organics. It's amazing. We can produce some chemicals directly from the wastewater. But still, it's quite initial stage of the research. And also, we try to increase the energy production using the integrated resource recovery system. This is an example in the Billund biorefinery in Denmark. The system will start this year. And they use not only the sludge, but also the organics from the industry and agriculture and households. And then they thermal hydrolyze those organics, and they can produce the energy. The excess energy can be sold to the nearby electricity grid and heating networks. Well, those are our current attempts to recover energy and resources from the wastewater. And before I go ahead for the future system, let's look at a little bit about our changing social demands, because the wastewater treatment always responds to the social demands. We didn't do our job for alone. We only follow the social demands. Well, the major impact is given by the world population. The world population will still slowly grow, but the growth rate is becoming reduced very sharply. Nowadays, even the low development, underdeveloped countries, they don't have many children anymore. They know if they know how to control their babies, number of babies, and they know